Hello, trading has closed on January 29th, 2024. As always, we'll do our disclaimer, go over our calls, make some predictions. It's my trading plan for Tuesday, which is January 30th, 2024. Just remember, I can be wrong. Any trade you make should be made at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early low. Tends to be a rally day, high in the final hour. We got that. We said if we didn't take this high out early, we should see lower prices regardless of how we close. We got that. And what else do we say? We said the rally wasn't over, and that was true. If we do rally, we have resistance around 49.52 cash. Not going to go over everything we said in the last video. Well, early on, MEJT said ultimately higher price it would print and gave a buy signal. These things give targets. They don't give the next move necessarily. The drop was called false, and the pattern certainly played out. Now it says this rally's false, gives us a target 48.95.13. If we don't gap up, that'll be the call for tomorrow. It's quite a ways away. That doesn't mean you won't gap up, but if you don't, that's the call. We're still hugging the upper Bollinger band here. And if you look at the stop loss areas on the monthly chart, we're pretty much right at the high area where DeMark says that the rally stops based on the combo sell signal on the monthly chart. Now this is based on monthly closes, doesn't stop us from going higher first. And he says numbers should be interpreted loosely. So we're just going to say this is an area where his work says we could run into trouble. Wednesday is one of Carol Ann's dates for a possible change in trend. That's when we'll get the FOMC announcement. You can get wild swings when that happens. It wouldn't surprise me if that date turned out to be a top, but it fits. But just because a date fits doesn't mean it's required. It just means if it happens, it's one of the days where it's plausible. We still have this trend line we can't break through. If we're not going to gap over tomorrow, any break over probably isn't going to stick, but that doesn't mean you won't gap over it. It's been hit a number of times. The more times you hit it, the more likely it is you'll break through at some point. But if you don't break through this by gapping, I'd be suspicious of a retrace. Well, we have balance of the waves around 49.52. That still works. That's the cash price. I don't see any reason to change it. Now, it's pretty hard to count this rally here as a 5-wave structure. I can do it, but it's fudging a bit too much for me, and so perhaps something else is going on, but I can count it that way without breaking any rules. So if we stop right at 49.52 on Wednesday, it would be a perfect hit because you'd have time and price. But for right now, MEJT says if we don't gap up tomorrow, 48.95.13 should print. So tomorrow's pattern has yearly low regardless of where we open. We have a lower MEJT target. Unless we gap up smartly, the rules call for it to print. Now, gapping up is not impossible. And if that happens, it could clear that trend line, which had been resistance for the rally. I'm just saying in addition to resistance from that trend line, we have a DeMark resistance area based on the monthly close and some timing which is unfavorable for the bulls. Specifically, we're a day before the FOMC announcement, which tends to restrain enthusiasm. People don't want to take large positions right before the announcement. And we're in Carol Ann's window for a possible top. So if we drop tomorrow, the MEJT target's quite a bit lower, 48.95. But if we rally, I have resistance around 49.52 cash. Trading right around FOMC announcements can be pretty hazardous. You get a lot of whipsaws. We'll see how we open tomorrow. If we start dropping, that's my target. We go up, we have a higher target too. So the parameters are pretty well outlined. I have some personal business this week, and I might be able to trade tomorrow. I doubt I'm going to do much on Wednesday. So it's the pattern with the early low. Doesn't mean you won't gap up. And that's today's call.